offering today, for now, because of the situation of this country. For now, we are pending the offering. All pastors should notice, pending for the situation of this country, for now. Because when don't go to church, they do 1,005 basket. Those who die will go to Probe. Am I making sense? Now, our own there by that for pastor, it is a pastor mansion. So I go to the point in that. But for now, the key in our church, in the mega spiritual church, we are not collecting offering for now. We are not collecting for now.
Now, you guys might have heard that right there. The pastor says, at their church, they are not taking offering at this moment. Pastor has banned the offering. Now, I want to give two sides to this particular subject. I thought it would be quite an interesting one. The most has been said, particularly by his statement as he put it there. And so the rest, I'm just going to add in filler to what he said. But I want to give another side of context. Sometimes people would hear something like that and take offense. So there are pastors that can hear that and think he must speak for himself. Because, they take offense at the fact that he says, at our church, we are not doing it. And he says, the advice is, pastors, don't. Things are difficult. The country is not easy at the moment. So y'all take it easy with the offerings and the basket and the month and things. Okay? So the thing that I want to highlight here, that I say, for a lot of people, they don't like discussing this part of things. If you go to 2 Corinthians chapter number 9, it says, remember, whosoever sows sparingly will reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Notice then where it goes. It doesn't just address your generosity, which a lot of pastors like to do, to say, hey, be generous. You'll reap, but they don't like to pair what generosity looks like in the context of what this Bible verse is actually intending. Everyone, verse number 7, should give what he has decided. This is not an amount. It's not set. What he has decided in his heart to give. Not out of regret or compulsion. There mustn't be any push. There is no push that should justify how much he is giving. It's not, we need 10,000, you guys make it available. That's not that type of a situation. He says, if you've decided that amount, you can part ways with it. This is why it goes on to say, for God loves a cheerful giver. You are a cheerful giver not because they named an amount and you gave it. No. They named an amount, you had an amount you had set that in your heart that you could part with, and cheerfully you gave that. And so that's the first context that I want to bring here. Okay? Now, the second context is in line with people that are believers and disciples in the church. Now, I bring this one here to your maturity, or to remind of your maturity. You see, the church is a place where we all gather. And so, maintenance of that must be paid by who? I didn't say must be, no, I said paid. Paid. By who? And again, a lot of churches tend to have a lot more people who are unemployed and less people who are employed. So sometimes that is what it takes for the church to be. So there are certain structures that we must be very much aware. It will just cease. If the funds were not there, it will completely cease. If it dried out, why would I be sitting here? Because I still have to eat, right? So there must be work, and that work must make provision. If it became too costly for me to operate this, you won't see me here. And so there is a hand that funds you seeing this video that you see here. And it is the work that I do, right? And so sometimes there enters this area of ignorance about, and it's a very worldly thinking that influences it. It's people that were hurt by the church, that don't like the church, they're not associated anymore. And so as a result, they take on these ideas that are very worldly. Who must take care of the church? When you read Paul speaking to different church congregations and saying, can you guys make a donation, please? Let's provide for that church. Because that church had come to a point where they couldn't meet up with the... And so it's important we understand. And also, some churches can't do this. Some churches cannot do this. They can't just stop or cease collecting offering because they live on a pay-to-check, because they have a very few people, and by paycheck is not the right way of putting it. They live on a month-to-month thingy, you know. They even have to say, hey, you know, guys, we haven't paid for the bill, you know. I'm not talking about churches that are thriving, that have savings, investments, you know. I'm talking about churches that are barely making enough to pay for the bills. So we should not be ignorant of what it costs to have the work of the ministry going. There tends to be that worldly thinking that creeps in. Even me, who's doing this right now, it's because this year is funded by me. There is no work that just happens. Even organizations that are influencing people to do abortions and what, they are funded. There are companies that fund them. I once made an episode talking about the Fox News thingy, and we were seeing the people who are funded there by such organizations. Political parties, same thing. Even sangomas are funded. You know, the clothes will go make people sick and bring the abakula, bring the cooling there and stuff like that. We must not have the ignorance. Okay? Now I've said, money doesn't preach the gospel. It is people that preach the gospel. But it is people that are in that place that are able to preach the gospel. Right? And so we must not adopt a worldly, because there tends to be this irresponsible thinking amongst a lot of people. Maybe they lost money in churches when they were going to cults and stuff like that. So they tend to adopt a very negative view about money and church. Don't be part of that WhatsApp group. So it's kudos to him. You know? But we must not be ignorant that the church does need... I like it when churches are accountable to people. Hey guys, we gathered this much, we gathered this much, we are doing this with this, we are doing this with this. We're paying for school fees, we are paying for what? We are paying for the rentals, and we are also looking to purchase this. Accountability. Not Abu Papa's churches. I don't know what the man is doing. Flying first class. This is flying first class with the monies of the people. And so we shouldn't shy away from that conversation. And as a matter of fact, when the world steps in there and they start having their worldly voice, you must set it straight. As for me and my house, we shall serve. And that goes also with the substance that we have. So we shouldn't have that ignorance. You know, because sometimes, me, I give outside, and you are lying. Hey, you did it once, You did it once. This year, you did it once. Calm down. Don't lie to yourself. We have a responsibility to keep up, because you might find that it's you and a few people in that church who are, your offering is keeping up. Okay? Especially in churches where, you're being taught the Bible. You're not being taught dodgy things and stuff like that. And so we mustn't shy away from that, and we must be very clear about it. It's part of our discipleship, not part of our salvation. It's part of our discipleship, meaning it's our involvement in the work. All right, it's the Rick's Reality Show, daily Christian commentary videos. Other episodes done today, they'll be down in the pinned comments, and I'm going to check you out on a later on episode.